single or married. Hello everyone, I am Dai. I am 35 years old. These are my deepest thoughts and anxieties between two worlds. Single life in modern society is often framed by images of freedom and independence. A neat, compact apartment, spontaneous trips, or quiet evenings alone, with a book and a cup of coffee. However, the world of a single person is not an isolated oasis. On the contrary, they are often the most silent and subtle observers of married life. The experience of alternating between the doors of two different families, the parental home on one side, and a small family of siblings or close friends on the other, brings unique lessons and emotions. It is a journey between two lenses, where a single person finds themselves both free and connected, and above all, gains a deeper understanding of the word home. Once or twice a week, the single person returns to their parents' house. Stepping through that door means entering a space steeped in time and familiarity. Here, the pace of life is usually slow and steady, yet always filled with anticipation. Two parents, no matter how independent or mature their child is in society, upon returning, they are always the child who needs protection. The care of this family is expressed through a pot of hot sour soup on the stove, a plate of peeled fruit on the table, and the familiar nagging about daily habits. While here, the single person can temporarily shed the heavy armor of a self-reliant adult. However, behind that warmth lies quiet moments. The mother's anxious gaze and the father's casual questions about the future and settling down sometimes create an invisible pressure. The single person realizes that, in the eyes of the older generation, complete happiness must come in pairs. Standing in this house, they feel unconditional love, but at the same time, they witness the generational gap in defining a fulfilling life. Leaving the quiet space of their parents, the single person steps into the second home, the household of an older brother, sister, or a close married couple. This is a completely different world, bustling, busy, and sometimes chaotic. The moment the door opens, they are greeted not by silence, but by the laughter and tears of young children, the clattering of toys, and the hectic atmosphere of a couple juggling work and parental responsibilities. In this home, the single person plays the role of an honored guest, a playful savior for the kids, or a listener to complaints about bills, diapers, and minor marital friction. Looking at this second family, the single person sees the dynamic, vibrant side of marriage, but also sees through the sacrifices, the exhaustion, and how the individual I must give way to we. They witness simple moments of happiness when the family gathers, but also the heavy pressure on the shoulders of their peers who are steering their own households. Moving and experiencing life between these two family models grants the single person a privilege, an insight that insiders can hardly perceive. At their parents' home, they see the past and the fulfilling, yet fading, conclusion of a lifetime. At the young family's home, they see a cluttered present and a future being built, brick by brick. Returning to their own single apartment after these visits, the single person is often met with absolute silence. This contrast can initially bring a slight sense of displacement and emptiness. They ask themselves, am I missing out on something? Is this freedom worth the joy of gathering found in those two families? Yet, after much reflection, this transition becomes the very medicine that helps the single person mature. They realize that being single is not a selfish or lonely state, but a necessary pause to understand the value of connection. They learn to cherish the peaceful moments with their parents more, while empathizing with the hardships of their married friends. They realize that no lifestyle model is absolutely perfect. Marriage has the joy of companionship, but comes with heavy responsibilities. Singleness offers absolute freedom, but requires self-warming through moments of loneliness. Passing through both families, the single person no longer views life in black and white choices of should I marry or stay single. They learn to appreciate every moment, understanding that every house has its own melody, and their current free life does too. Right now, I don't know which path to choose, staying single or getting married. With no house, no assets, a low income, and a bleak future, I feel completely adrift at the age of 35.